So welcome to my video. So in this discussion I'm going to talk about rounding off, how you round off. Let's say they give you a number 2.456 and they tell you to round off this one to 2 decimal places, so to 2 dp. So what they mean to 2 decimal places, remember dp is decimal places, to 2 decimal places, meaning after the decimal point you need just to count 1 2. So meaning the value that you are focusing on is actually the 5 there. Now for you to round off, you need to look at the number that follows in front. So this value here, the 5, can either remain a 5 or it can increase depending on the next value that you have. So the way it is that if the next value is actually 5 and above, so if it is 5 and above, it simply means that you are going to add a 1 to this one. So in this case, to 2 decimal places, it will be 2.4. Because this is greater than 5, I'll add, this number will change, it will now become 6. So that means I've rounded off to 2 decimal places. Suppose again they told you the same number, we use the same number, they told you to say round off in this case to 1 dp, to 1 decimal place. Well, to 1 decimal place meaning after the decimal point you are just interested with this number for here. But now the position, the value of this number will depend on the next number. If the next number is 5 and above, then this number will change. You need to add a 1. So in this case, because that's 5, it simply means I'll add a 1. So it will be 2.5. So it simply means I've rounded off to 1 decimal place. Now suppose you had a number that says 1.43, maybe 1, and they told you to say, okay, round off to 2 dp, to 2 decimal places. How can you do that? You can pause the video and try out this one. Well, to 2 decimal places meaning after the decimal point you just count 1 2, meaning the one should end here after the decimal point, to 2 decimal places. So the value of the 3 is dependent on the next value. If the next value is 5 and above, this will change, will increase by 1. But if it is less than 5, meaning 4 3 2 1 or 0, then this number maintains, you just leave it the way it is. So to 2 decimal places it will be 1.43. it simply means I've rounded off to 2 decimal places. That's what we mean. Suppose I told you the same number 1.431 and I told you to round off to 1 dp, to 1 decimal place. How is it going to be? Well, to 1 decimal place, after the decimal point you just count 1. So meaning this is where they want you to end. So you look at the number that is right in front. In this case the number right in front is 3. Is it 5 and above? No, it is actually less than 5, meaning this number will maintain, so it will be 1.4. It simply means I've rounded off to 1 decimal place. So that is what rounding off basically means. All right, let me give you some more examples so that you can actually get to practice. Let me say that round off 3.03864 to A, you can round off to 3 decimal place, then B, you can round off to 2 decimal place, and C, you can round off to 1 decimal place. Go ahead, you can pause the video and actually try out this question. So how do we round off? Well, it is very simple. They have given us the number there, 3.03864, and they simply want us to round off to 3 decimal places in the first place. So meaning after the decimal point you are going to count 3. That's what it simply means. So you count 3. In this case it is going to be 1. So that is going to be, let me use a different marker. So that will be 1 2 3, meaning the one should to end at 8. But you look at the number that follows it, that is the 6 there. If the number that follows it is actually 5 and above, then this number will change. So meaning it is going to become 3.03, then that will change to that will change to 9. That's what it simply means. So you have rounded off to 3 dp, or to 3 decimal places. The B part says round off to 2 decimal places. So the same number, they want us now to round off to 2 decimal places. So to 2 decimal places, it's simply after that you count 1 2, so meaning you want to end here. But look at the next number. The next number, is it 5 and above? The answer is yes, meaning this number will change it to be 3.04. So I've rounded off to 2 decimal places. Let's look at the C part. The one they're telling you to say a round off, in this case, to 1 decimal place. So to 1 decimal place, the number 3.03864. If you notice, in this case, to 1 decimal place, they just want you after the decimal point, just the first digit, so you are ending here. So you look at the next number. Is it 5 and above? The answer is no, it's less than 5, meaning this digit will remain the same, it will not change. So it will be 3.0. That is to 1 dp, or to 1 decimal place. So it's not actually difficult, it is very simple. Please watch out for some more videos as we look at some more practice questions.